Hello everybody. Today I have the honor and pleasure of having with me Dr. Ashwini Kumari, rank 27 NEET PG exam this year. I'm sure everybody listening to me today would give her a big hand sitting at their homes and would want to hear from her story and how she went about preparing for this exam, a tough exam. This is the first time we had a NEET exam this year. What was her preparation style? I'll try to find out from her. But before we do everything, I want her to introduce herself. Where did she graduate from? What is her, what is she all about? And when did she join DAMS? What was her journey so far? Let's have a little bit initiation from her.
Before I begin to say anything about myself, I'd like to thank the entire team of DAMS for having me here. Traveled all the way from Bangalore to Delhi, and it's a pleasure meeting you, sir.
Thank you. It's a pleasure meeting you as well. And we are so proud of our students, so we are very eager to meet you. We're very eager.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. I'm Dr. Ashwini Kumari. I've graduated from Kempe Gowda Institute of Medical Sciences, KIMS, Bangalore. And my journey with DAMS began when I was in my third year, which is also the reason I believe that the key to getting a top rank is having a head start right from the beginning. Start with your foundation years so that you don't get lost in the sea of information. I shouldn't say sea. Sea is an understatement to the amount that we have to read. Yep. It's an ocean of information, and a coaching institute, as opposed to the usual misgivings of giving you just hacks and tricks of how to go about it, or loosely termed as shortcuts. I think DAMS has given me some really sound conceptual learning, and that has helped me streamline my journey with these 19 subjects, have a very structured approach to what exactly I need to study, how much I need to study, and how many times. And that is a very key thing to do. I mean, how many times you're reading it is very essential.
Now, because you started, I'll ask you a direct question here. Did joining DAMS in third year affect your university exams somehow, or did they help? Did it help you in your university exam?
Of course it did.
How?
I got a university rank of 4 in my final year.
Wow.
And a university rank of 9 in all the 4 years combined.
So that is the entire university.
Yeah, all the 4 years
awesome,
combined.
Awesome. So you were, I'm happy to say, and I'm very proud to say, I'm sitting with a very intelligent student today who's not only NEET PG ranker, she's also a university topper. Great to be with you today and discuss. So now a few things that we've already gotten from you in the beginning is that the idea has to be start early. So you joined DAMS Bangalore in third year of your
yes.
medical school.
I also remember the first class I had with DAMS. The first class was a surgery class by Dr. Rohan Khandelwal. And it completely changed my approach to a big subject like general surgery. I mean, whenever we heard from our seniors that if you fail, beta, you're going to fail in surgery.
so did you end up getting a distinction?
Yes, of course.
She ended up getting a distinction in surgery after that. So that is like something which we that gives us a lot of happiness to hear back from our students that although the intent behind DAMS is to focus you towards your PG entrance exam, but when you are with us in foundation years, we are happy to help you with your prof exams as well, and we are happy to create the base where you can build up your understanding on. Now, second thing that I want you to answer is that you were with us in the 3-year course.
Yes, sir.
And so what did you do after the foundation year? Then how
I
did you follow?
attended the classes in internship.
Okay.
However difficult it sounds, you
internship
need to make...
Is your internship heavy in your medical school?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Very heavy. So then how did you manage? Because a lot of people will take a heavy internship as an excuse.
No, sir. I don't think that really is an excuse. You will have to make time. I think more than hard work and perseverance, it's just that willingness to push your limits. It's that willingness to walk the line. And if you're really dreaming of a top branch or a top college, you need to go that extra mile. There are no excuses that should come your way. I mean, there are difficulties that arise in everybody's life. You will have tough moments, you'll have difficult days, you'll have devastating moments at times, but you have to take it all in your stride. And if it works out for you, which most likely will, it's an amazing feeling.
So now, when I was talking to you before this interview, you were telling me that before the NEET exam, you were not well.
Yes, sir.
Do you want to,
Yes,
tell?
sir, of course.
Because
Uh,
I reason I'm asking you this question is because I have met over the years many students who say, "Sir, I fell ill and my rank fell down. I could not get through because I was not well." So, do you think that phase? How did you cope up with that phase?
Yes, sir. Around 40 to 45 days before NEET, which almost correlates with the time where AIMS and PGI is held, I wasn't at the best of my health, and which is the reason why I did not appear in either AIMS or PGI.
Oh, you could not.
I couldn't even appear
Okay,
for
okay.
the two exams. My family, of course, had a lot of expectations from me. They wanted me to study in AIMS or PGI. But I had to explain to them that having not been in the best state of my mind right now, if I don't do too well in any of these, that's totally going to lower my morale. And since I was aiming at a very good branch, something like a radiology or dermatology, my main focus was NEET PG, and under no circumstances did I want anything of any sort to come my way. So I
Okay.
took this in my stride. I attempted NEET PG as my first exam, and I made it to the other side.
Yes. Now, if I look back now, although we can't turn back the clock, but if I look back now, do you think if you had given AIMS at that time, the chapter would have been over by now? You were ranked 27 today, and she didn't give AIMS because of some factors. But I feel that although she would differ, but I feel that not giving an exam is actually
It's not the best thing
not
to do.
the best thing
It's
to be
really
done.
not the best thing to
Ideally
do.
you
I would
should
never
give
advise it to
yes,
anybody,
yes.
but at that point in time, it seemed like a feasible option to me, and
But in the end, it worked out. Okay, so all that is well is well. But I do not recommend this to others.
no, not at all.
Please
Not at
give all
all.
the exams, and you never know, because now we cannot turn back clock. But
That's true,
now
that's true,
once we see the top 20, she's
That's
ranked
true.
27 NEET PG. If you were not listening to me before, she's ranked 27 this year's NEET exam, All India exam. More than 1 lakh candidates have sat for this exam, and after seeing the amount of competition, now if you see 27, you understand the value of 27. And maybe things could have been different, but
That's true, sir.
it's
That's-
like
that's
it's now we should not
totally true.
actually dig out the past and let's say it's okay, let's let it be there. So what branch are you looking at now?
Sir, I think I'm considering radiology right now.
So what attracts you to radiology? Is that the
Sir, the first time I attended your class in third year, I was totally mesmerized by the branch. I mean, we didn't have a very good radiology exposure back in college, but after attending the class, I realized that radiology is a consortium of every subject that medicine has to offer. All the 19 subjects to put together is radiology, and I at times I feel toppers opt to take radiology not just because it's a lucrative branch, but because it really uses your cortex.
brain? Yes, actually, you're saying something which is very close to my heart. What I want to tell people is that whenever people opt for radiology, the other people who are not getting radiology will say that he's a greedy man, he's taking up radiology because it's more lucrative. That kept aside, radiology is something which takes more gray cells, so you have to use your brain all the time. It's a very cerebral branch. So it's not a physically intensive branch like surgery, but it is very cerebrally challenging branch. You have to think all the time, you have to know all the differential diagnosis, you have to know the entire anatomy, entire pathology. So that is where that fits in. So and it is one of the top choices, not only in India. I want to tell her that globally it is one of the more sought after branches.
Yes.
That is how it goes. So you've talked about surgery, you've talked about radiology. What other subjects in DAMS actually inspired you, or made your concepts better?
Sir, I remember my class. I've attended twice the OBG session that I had with Dr. Anil Mirchandani, and I must say he's a rock star.
I
mean,
know.
his presence
Yes.
in class, he's an ultimate rock star.
Yes.
His notes is like a blessing to every medico all around the nation.
Yes, yes.
I think it's one of the most amazing classes I've had in DAMS. Dr. Ruchi Rai for ophthalmology. I think it was a really really nice class that we had, and Dr. Deepak Arora
ENT.
for ENT.
Yes.
His notes are it's just amazing. I mean, there is nothing more to be done after you have attended a class with Dr. Deepak Arora. I've also been able to attend ENT quizzes because of the notes while I was in
So
third year.
did you win
So
some
it
quizzes?
always
Did you
yes,
win?
yes, I made
So
it
we
to
have
finals.
a real genius with us. She's a university topper. She is distinction holder in surgery,
Yes, sir.
and she attended 3 years with us. She made best use of all resources that she could get. She's one intelligent student that you have to look. So I am sure you would have used all standard textbooks during
Yes,
your
sir.
MBBS.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Did you read Harrison's?
And I would recommend the tables in Harrison. I know post internship or internship is a very limited period. You cannot read a lot of things. I would suggest that you read comprehensively things which are very important. And by very important, I mean your DAMS notes and the tables from the latest edition of Harrison's.
Okay.
Read the tables at least once or twice in that entire year. You could probably break it down to a table a day or 3 tables a week. Do that multiple number of times. It will help you keep in touch with a lot of subjects because Harrison is like the Bible of the medicine discipline.
It has everything.
And
I think
it has
physiology, pathology,
everything,
microbiology,
yeah.
everything.
So you will be in touch with all the other subjects, and it will also give you that extra edge over the others.
So, because I've been teaching for now 17 years now, and I've heard this from many rankers in the last 17 years. Many people have talked about tables in Harrison's. So, actually, that is like what these classic or the Harrison is a classic textbook. So, what they do is they summarize everything in a table. So, if you do a table, you have actually, you've gotten the gist of the entire 2-3 pages that precede
Especially
the
neurology, things like types of headaches, lung cancer tables, and even parts which are generally grey to most medicos, spinal cord and syndromes. Everything is just broken down into very simple points, easy to recollect, easy to revise, and they go pretty handy at the time of exams.
So, any other textbook that you feel is any other thing that you feel that is a must do for like PSM or
PSM,
Robbins, what do you feel?
what I would recommend is that you do your second year subjects well, pathology, microbiology, pharma and physio from first year. I think these are the big scorers. Bulk of the questions come from these subjects, and if you have an edge over others in these subjects, considering final year subjects are pretty fresh, relatively people tend to answer better in final year subjects and third year subjects. But these are the subjects which differentiate you from people who have done last minute reading, however good they are. Since you would have done second year subjects well and physiology and anatomy from first year well, it will give you a really top notch differentiation between people who have done last minute reading and if you have been consistently reading.
Yeah, that I think that gave you the edge, because talking to you, what I understand is that the key things that made her get the rank that she has gotten today are, one is that she started early.
Yeah,
That is one thing, and she had good basic idea about pre-paraclinicals, and she built clinicals over them rather than building clinicals without the foundation of the pre-paraclinical, and that helped her to learn. And then when she learned clinical, and then she could go back and learn the preclinical again.
Yes, sir. Especially when you join in third year, every person in MBBS knows that third year is relatively the easiest year.
Yeah.
So if you join in third year, you figure out how much of a void there is between what is needed to be known in first year and second year and what you actually know. So once you have had that, it's more like self-realization. So if you've realized that this is the void that you have to bridge in third year, I think that's the best time to bridge that void. Also, final year, read your final year subjects well, go through DAMS notes. That will help you in prof exams. That's a given, no doubt about that. Come back to your internship, read all the 4-year subjects, and it's going to be comfortable then.
So I think the key messages that we've gotten from you is start early, foundation year is the right year, third prof is relatively free in the medical school. So when you use that relatively free time in the medical school, you are able to get an idea about the competition that is alive around, and you see the gap. That was a very good thing that she told you, that when we start our classes, I've seen many students have come back and told me that okay, that is when they realize the gap between what they are doing and what is required to be done.
Yes, sir.
So now we will now come to the final 3 questions of the day. One is, I want you to give people an academic message. Second is, tell them the real secret of your success and what makes you what you are as a person. Third would be a motivation line. So let us start with the academic message.
Academic message I have already given in this due course. Start early.
Start early.
Read your subjects well. Don't then do your internship well. But simultaneously, if you're aiming for a really good rank, a really good college, I think you should be able to push that extra bar. No, I'm not saying be able to. I think you should definitely try to push that limit, because the competition is pretty hard. I mean, even with a lot of preparations.
Now,
I mean,
what makes you you today, and what do you think is the, like, everybody has an edge. Somebody is a strong person, somebody has the hard work with them. What is your trait that makes you the topper?
I think perseverance was.
Okay. So you could hold on, you could stay there, stay put.
Ever since first day of first year, I have been dreaming of a good college, been dreaming of a top branch, and when you have a willingness, and you know full well that there is no way out, there is no way that you can get a top branch or a top college not having pushed your limits. So it's more about realizing it early, being willing to walk the line, and just push your boundaries a little. That's it.
And the final message for the day would be, say something motivational for the people, like motivate them. Like, okay, motivate
That's too
them.
much
Yes.
pressure, sir.
You could
I think
do that. You can do it, because you have done it yourself, and people would love to be in your place next year.
Thank you so much, sir. All I would say is, when you are on the other side, once you have taken your journey of 19 subjects, and you've finally reached the other side where you can sit here and give out a message to the finest minds all over the nation, you should realize that this feeling is worth all the hard work to be able to sit next to Dr. Sumer Sethi
So kind.
and speak on the same platform as him. I think all the hard work, all the sleepless nights, all the sweat and tears, I think all of them have paid off. And this feeling is an overwhelming feeling, and it's
kind.
here to stay.
It is a pleasure to be with you today and talk about your journey. It has been an honor to interview her. I'll summarize the final things that she said. One, she said, is that in the end, when you reach where you dreamed of reaching, the journey becomes worthwhile. Because while you are in the journey, and I'm sure each one of us who are medicos, we are working as medical students, then residents, interns, we have all felt that it is a tough journey. And I liked when she said there would be sweat, there would be tears. It happens in every medico's life. You have to cry a bit, you have to sweat a lot, and it is a tough journey. But in the end, when you reach or you get into a direction the way you want to reach, it seems worthwhile. That is the key thing that we take home from today. And on this note, we sign off from today. On behalf of the entire DAMS family, I wish her all the best.
Thank you
and
so
I'm
much,
sure
sir. Thank you so
she
much,
will
sir.
rock
It's
the
all
future, and she
so
would be
pleasure.
a great doctor in future. Thank you.
You so much, sir.
Thank you.